To know what the future of AI chatbot holds, listen to this quote by Sam Altman.
We've had the idea of voice-controlled computers for a long time. We had Siri and we had things before that. They've never, to me, felt natural to use. And this one, many different reasons, what it can do, the speed, adding in other modalities, the inflection, the naturalness, the fact that you can do things like say, hey, talk faster or talk in this other voice, and that it's the fluidity, the pliability, whatever you want to call it. I just can't believe how much I love using it.
Yeah, Spike Jonze would be proud.
It's
Are there use cases that you've gravitated to?
Well, I've only had it for a week or something. But one surprising one is putting my phone on the table while I'm really in the zone of working. And then without having to change windows or change what I'm doing, using it as another channel. So I'm working on something. I would normally stop what I'm doing, switch to another tab, Google something, click around or whatever. But while I'm still doing it, to just ask and get an instant response without changing from what I was looking at on my computer, that's been a surprisingly cool thing.
What Sam Altman describes in this clip is the incredible convenience of a voice interface, an experience very similar to just having a phone call. But what does that have to do with chatbots now? With generative AI, computers can make sense of words and sentences. And with the latest advances like GPT-4o, AIs can now also process spoken text just as well. For example, look at the latest ChatGPT Mac app that many users have on their computers already today. It has a very intuitive voice interface that is much easier to use than typing text every time. And this is still just the beginning. In this video, I'll share with you what that might mean for AI chatbots over the coming years and also how you can benefit from it. By the way, if we haven't met yet, I'm Gregor Schafroth, and on this channel, I help you use AI and AI assistants to win in business. If that sounds interesting, please subscribe. And with that, let's jump right in. To be able to predict the future of AI chatbots, we first need to look in the past and know where we are coming from. That is because the basics of human interaction remain the same throughout history. It's always about either taking an action or finding an information. Long time ago, this was done mostly by personal conversation, eventually by letters, then by printed text, phone calls, and more recently through websites and apps over the internet. Each time, the new method prevailed because it was more convenient than the one previously established. That's exactly also why AI chatbots are an interesting addition to many websites today, because they make taking action and finding information on any given website easier. So now, what does that mean for the future? What will make online interactions even easier and even more convenient? For the coming years, I predict change will happen in 3 phases. And let me briefly outline them before coming back to what that means for AI experts right now. Now that GPT-4o can already process spoken text as well as written one, it's only a question of time before this technology will spread. You can think about it in a similar way to how you interact with your friends. Maybe sometimes you will text a message, but other times you might send a voice message or give them a call. And in similar ways, it will be your choice how you want to interact with websites or content on the internet through different means like voice. How am I so confident that websites will even want to offer this? It's very simple, because there is a significant part of users that obviously have a preference for voice, which you can tell already by them sending voice messages or giving phone calls today. And if a certain company or a competitor to a company has this service, then other companies in the same industry will have a strong incentive to offer that as well. Otherwise, customers will simply go to the company that has this new interface. If a company wants to make use of this opportunity, they need to be there. It's a similar thing with company websites. Some companies had one in 2010, others still didn't have one in 2020. But today, you can barely find a company that doesn't have one. And it's simply the same with voice interface, because companies want to make money and they don't want to miss out on a huge opportunity like this. Once voice becomes more widespread, it will become obvious that the most common setup with a chatbot on a website is not ideal. That is because if you use the chatbot simply to navigate to other parts of the website, first of all, the website needs to reload every time, but also it breaks the flow of the experience if the user switches from chatbot or voice interface to the website back and forth. So the obvious move here is to move the website or all the content inside the chatbot or inside the voice interface. And actually that is what we already see today with custom GPTs that ChatGPT launched late last year. It's just in a very basic form and not that useful yet, but this will improve and eventually this choice might become better than a chatbot on a website. Now that Apple too launched its virtual reality headset, it's almost guaranteed that this technology will become popular over the coming years. Now, voice commands understood by an AI are uniquely well suited to interact with this metaverse. That's because you don't really want to have a keyboard that breaks the experience or even some other button interface. It's simply much more intuitive and easy to use a voice interface. Alright, so now we talked about the past and the future. But what does that mean for AI and chatbots right now? Because voice interfaces behave in a fundamentally similar way to chatbots, that means that everything that you learn right now when building chatbots will become much more relevant in the coming years once voice gets more established. Even if the specific tools and technologies that we use to build them change, the fundamentals will remain the same. It's not by chance that the most popular platform to build chatbots is called VoiceFlow. True, they have a past where they started with voice, with services like Amazon Alexa, and then they moved to chatbots, but I'm very confident that they will move back to voice once the technology evolves and the opportunities become clear. So, are you as excited about this future as I am? If you are an AI pioneer and want to interact with me and other like-minded people, join the AI Web Discord. I'll put a link to it in the video description below. Unlike some competing offerings, this is 100% free and a great place to just chat and exchange resources. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the AI Web.